So far, so good. Okay. Fantastic. All right, finally. This is ridiculous. But of course, nothing is going to go as planned when you need to do things. So here we are. Hello, Benny. Welcome to my live stream. Happy Halloween, everyone. I will give you a proper Halloween greeting in just a second. I am finishing setting up one more thing on my YouTube channel. And let's see. Okay, I think we are all set now. Wonderful. Yes, Fresty, I had a problem live streaming. Clearly, it's never been this bad. But yes, happy Halloween, everyone. As you can see, I am dressed up. The winner of my Halloween costume contest is TB. TB has requested me to dress in like a matron or a matriarchal garb that is still akin to goddess energy. And so here I am, all mystical and everything. And as I mentioned previously in my past videos, you are able to tribute me anything above $25. I can change out my clothing or accessories. So let's say if you guys wanted me to wear a specific pair of leather gloves, because I know I have leather glove enthusiasts, that would just be me changing my rings and stuff like that out for that kind of thing. And you guys will also be able to either purchase from my wish list or tribute me in other ways. Hello, Carl. Thank you. Carl says, I meant to say mistress. You look very sexy in your costume, very seductive and dominant. I wouldn't actually even call this a costume because honestly, this is like a dress that I literally took from my closet. I've had this mask for years. I've had this thing, which was a part of another outfit, for years. I just DIY'd my little heart locket, my black heart locket. And yeah, I just put together a bunch of stuff. So, yay. Hello, Gregory. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties. That usually doesn't happen. But like I mentioned, of course, when you really need to go stream, it doesn't treat you right. So let's see. Can I, ooh. How do I make this? Okay, let me just see. I think it was better the way it was before. No, because then you can see kind of cobwebs. All right. Fantastic. Is anyone else dressing up for Halloween today? Liam says, who is the mystery lady behind the mask? Where is Mistress Mara? Today, Matron Mara is going to be addressing you. Yes. Oh my gosh, this mask is huge. It really makes it look like I have so many opinions. So many fabulous opinions, if you ask me. But yeah, matching garb, matching everything as usual. Even matching shoes. And I'll be waiting to show those off later. Liam says, what are you dressed as? So, as I mentioned previously, TB has tributed the most for my costume bid, and he wanted me to dress as a strong, mysterious, matriarchal figure. And I am going to be, you know, kind of this like goddess essence, but you know, you don't really know who she is, you don't know really where she comes from, kind of thing. Presty says, you don't have the same mask as your photo. Actually, it is the same mask. Take a look again. Unless you're looking at a different photo. But yes, this is the same one. I literally took that photo before I got on stream. So... Adia says, hello, Miss Mara. Liam says, mystery goddess matriarch Mara. I quite like it, yes, but because that title is so long, I'm going to just go by Matron Mara because, or mysterious Mara or something, or masked Mara. Look, there's so many M's. That, yes. Benny says, whatever you use, you always look beautiful, miss. Oh, thank you. I do appreciate that. I got up so early today. I got up at like 6:30 a.m. But I didn't get up until like an hour later, like physically. And I was trying to do like a YouTube video of my decorations and stuff that I've actually upgraded since my last, what is it, like DIY stuff at home. But it took a lot longer in editing and I'm about halfway. So hopefully, depending on how long this stream goes and, you know, how fast I edit tonight, hopefully it should be up by the evening here in Los Angeles. So, yes. Anyone else dressing up for today? I'm having a fantastic time waving my cape around. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing this whole time. Because it's fun. Now I understand why vampires and, you know, superheroes wear capes. However, if you have watched The Incredibles by Pixar, Edna Mode says no capes because they always get stuck in something while the superhero is, you know, in flight and then they get sucked into their death. So maybe capes isn't such a good thing unless you're like lounging around and being glamorous like me at home, you know? I still feel like you could trip on capes though. Like if you're walking down a grand staircase and everything is super elegant and it's like a music video shot and then your shoe gets caught on the tip of your cape, and then you fall forwards, and then you land on your face, and then you become a ghost in your mansion. And this is how Halloween stories start. Liam asks, Mystery Goddess Matriarch Mara. Wow, you actually capitalized all of those and typed it all out. I'm so proud of you. What kinds of questions are you expecting or answering this stream? Must they all be Halloween related? No, they don't all have to be, but I think it would be really fun to kind of gear it towards that. So Mr. Adrenaline says, any balloon videos coming up? Would love to see you blow some and pop some with your fingernails. And you have such a natural, sexy adult voice. Thank you. No, none anytime soon. My birthday ASMR one is going to be the only one that kind of features that from now on. And you're always welcome to request a custom clip from me. You just need to email me, and we can go from there. And with custom clips, you can even say how many balloons you want, and I'll try to fit that in the time frame that we discuss. So, yay. Ooh. This mask has a life of its own. It likes to kind of move wherever it wants to go on my face. So, how fun. Okay. So much gold. How decadent. Does anyone have any spooky stories that they like? Like any scary stories that's, kind of PG enough that they want to share? Or that they can make into PG? Or any scary movies that you watched recently to get into the spooky mood? I don't even know if a lot of people are like in the Halloween theme this year, but I don't know why I am. Like the last few years I've been like really about it. Usually I am because I love Halloween, but ooh, I can tell this is gonna get annoying. So the mask will only stay on for now as an aesthetic, and then later, I don't know, it might have to come off because, yeah. I'll reveal my face later on. Liam says, Mystery Goddess Matriarch Mara, if you could dominate a girl or a guy, but they are a mythical Halloween-ish being, which being would you want to dominate? Ooh, I love this question. This is a really good question. Way to bridge the two, Liam. Brownie points for you. No, pumpkin pie slices for you. I think, ooh, mythical being. I don't know. I kind of like half animals and half humans. They're kind of like a really cool type of thing, like centaurs. I feel like if you also add like the undead before any of those mythical creatures, they would obviously become Halloweenish because anything can technically be a zombie. I would say probably a centaur because I could literally ride around on them. And then, or like a unicorn centaur. Ooh, that'd be fun. Or, let's see, what else can we do? Ghosts are tough because you could technically not catch them unless we were role-playing and I was like a sorceress who was really talented at catching specters, so I'm not sure about that. And then, let's see. Spiders are kind of more of a dominant figure. I feel like, they're the type to kind of go after their prey. And I think that would be my answer, is a centaur. Love that question, though. Very nice. Liam says, Mystery Goddess Matriarch Mara, I quite dislike the taste of pumpkin, except in soup. So if I could get soup, I would love it. Also, you could cosplay a Ghostbuster and do ghost play. Yeah, but that wouldn't be really dominating because I would literally just be sucking them into a machine. However, if there was a vac bed included in that, that would be really cool, actually. So I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Ooh. Pumpkin soup, huh? Pumpkin soup is really good. I just found this girl's channel that she was doing like welcome to her winter kitchen or something, and she made pumpkin soup and it looks so delicious. I love pumpkin pie, but maybe that'll be a great punishment for you since you don't like it. I'll just keep shoving pieces of pumpkin pie in your mouth and you have to swallow them. Benny says, why don't you sit on the throne, miss? I currently do not have a throne in my space. So when I had my own play space in downtown, I had a throne in each of my playrooms, and those are not in my house right now. So if you would like to purchase one for me, I would gladly accept. Actually, I've been looking at this awesome leather wingback chair for a really long time because I really want to do a DIY with it. So if you're interested in purchasing that for me, do let me know. I will link you. Liam, and of course I'm going to be making a DIY video about that, should that happen in the future, and then also I will shoot custom clips on it because it's such a boss chair. Liam says, Mystery Goddess Matriarch Mara, have you done any Halloween scenes before? It's very like cliche because, you know, the work of a dominatrix is already kind of Halloween themed. Like scary dungeons and stuff like that are kind of just like amped up. So I've had people come to me that were like, again, another tickle guy who wanted me to do a scene with another sub and another dom actually, and we both how do you say, like, held him down and tortured him in a dimly lit dungeon. So the premise was that maybe he embezzled a lot of money from like poor children or like an orphanage, and we were going to gang up on him and kind of, you know, take it back for the kids. That was the scene that we had established. So not really Halloween theme, but again, like anything that has to do with dungeons and obviously a dominatrix clad in like black lace or like gothic wear or even leather or latex, you know, goes in that theme, which is kind of crazy because I feel like a lot of people who are obviously not part of the lifestyle try to dress as like kinky things like a dominatrix, and yet it's like, oh, why would this is why I'm dressing like this. It's because like, why would I dress in my everyday wear for Halloween? Because that's my normal job. I don't know. So I just find that that's an interesting kind of dichotomy to relate to or not relate to. Graham, hello. Good day to you, mistress. You are a gothic, gorgeous goddess today. Thank you. TB has won my my bidding contest for Halloween couture, and he has requested a matriarchal you know, garb, and then also having, you know, a goddess underneath internalized. So Everybody say thank you, TB, because he's the one who has attributed the most during this whole month for Halloween. There were 3 people who were really close. It was him, it was SP, and it was Charles. I know him by Charles, but his initials are something else. So I'm going to continue calling him Charles because that's how he introduced himself to us on YouTube the other day. So Peter says, thoughts on permanent chastity. Permanent meaning like always locked up, but then like sometimes released for cleaning because you have to clean those devices. But if you're saying like if you are asking about 24/7, I would love that. I would love to be able to lock and unlock as I please. Liam says, maybe the opposite then. Do you do some angelic scene? Like the gorgeous looking angel in a well-lit kind of room, but really sadistic behind the kind smile. Oh, no, but I really want to. Like, I have white lingerie that I haven't used yet. That would be perfect for that. I have wings. I have everything except for the halo, which I would DIY because I've been meaning to also have that. So Liam, you're killing it today with all these awesome like suggestions. So good on you. Pumpkin soup for days. Graham says, you are more hauntingly beautiful than ever. Oh, why, thank you. Oh, and also I'm looking at the camera when I'm answering these things, but I have to look down a little bit because my computer is here and that's where I can actually see your guys' responses, because I don't know if you guys have streamed on YouTube before, but the comments go away really, really quickly. So it's not that I'm like avoiding eye contact or whatever. It's because I'm actually trying to read what you guys are messaging me. Uzair Raja says, thank you, TB. Yay. I'm going to send this link to him later and he can watch it and everybody's going to be like, yay, thank you. He also says, happy Halloween, mistress. Love your outfit, mistress. You haven't even seen the bottom part of this. I'm waiting for somebody to tip me so that I can stand up and reveal the lower half, because the lower half is pretty awesome, including the shoes. Tom says, my queen is so beautiful and gorgeous woman. Thank you. Liam says, well, I love asking questions like these and I adore mythological stuff. However, ironically, I really dislike Halloween. You're like super contradictory, but like not on the same topic of things, because obviously, you know, you like specific things, but things that overlap with it, you're just like, no. What do you dislike about Halloween? I'm curious. Benny says, what is your favorite fetish as a goddess? As a goddess, it's different than mistress, actually. So my goddess self is more of like a higher being, is a person, actually is not a person, is somebody who has surpassed being a human and has been put on a pedestal for worship. That's what a goddess is. And I have a YouTube video on this if you want to learn about it more in depth, called The Title Goddess. You should watch that. And then really quickly, one-liner, a mistress is somebody who literally dominates and takes control of a situation and a scene and creates something with people's interests, like fetishes or whatever. Goddesses, however, as a goddess, my favorite fetish is to receive foot worship. I love having people massage my feet. I love having people be at my feet. I love having people rest underneath my feet. Like, one of my favorite places for footstools, which is what I call some of my subs who like to, you know, be on the floor, is actually put my heels on their covered eyes, like their eyelids, and then put the rest of my feet onto the both sides of their faces, and it literally kind of covers like so. Uzar, I'm just gonna call you Raja, which is actually the name of my stuffed tiger. If you've seen my living room transformation makeover video. But he's asking, Mistress, how can we tip? Underneath the chat, you can see something with a $sign in a box that looks like this. If you click on that, you can send me a sticker, you can send me an actual amount, and if you do that, I will thank you in front of everyone, and you can request, you know, something of me. So say like you have $5 or 10 euros or something, anything like that is like me standing up, showing off my outfit, you know, maybe showing my shoes that I'm wearing for the day. And then anything above $25 is going to be like changing out or adding accessories such as leather gloves, latex gloves, changing my mask to something else, to another mask. Maybe it's the bottom half that I cover. Who knows? So that is that. Liam says, I was never into scary things, did not find them interesting. Also, I used to be afraid as a child with lots of nightmares, so this is not my stuff. Well, like, I'm dressed. My Halloween consists of very glamorous stuff. Like, I don't have spiders on here, but I have cobwebs because they add to, like, you know, the essence of things. And also, like, ghosts aren't necessarily scary. They can be, but I feel like, you know, Casper was a friendly ghost. So I like to be, you know, glamorous, gothic, mysterious. And that's kind of how I celebrate Halloween. So, Graham says a very happy, oh man, I don't know how to pronounce it. Here, let's YouTube it. How to pronounce. I don't want to butcher it and sound like, and sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. How to pronounce. Because it's Gaelic. So, let's see. Okay, that was way too fast.
Samhain.
Samhain. Am I saying it right, Graham? Samhain? Let's try another one, just to be safe.
Halloween goes back to Samhain.
Samhain.
Holiday. Turns out that Halloween.
Okay, got it. Happy Samhain to you too, Graham. That took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but at least it's correct. And Graham says, high heel worship is always a pleasure. I have like really cool shoes on today. They have a heel and it's very high, but it's not your typical high heel, so. Tom says, thank you, my queen, for getting me into BDSM. You're welcome if I am your first. DP says, do you do dates, paid dates instead of sessions? I do. If you go on to dominamara.com, in my Beyond Domination page, you'll see a bunch of different categories that we can do, such as shopping, or if you want to do a vanilla date, etc. And all of my things are listed there. Go check it out. It's a little tougher now because a lot of places are closed, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, but you know, We can do things that don't consist of going to spaces that are enclosed, like malls. We can go to, you know, outdoor areas. There are also drive through things, and you know, the beach is always lovely. I've been there several times now, and everybody's been very good at keeping their distance, so, and wearing masks when they're not around other people. So not everybody, but most people are very good who are out and about. Liam says, it's pretty much zombies. Other creatures of the night I'm fine with. Oh, it's pretty much zombies. Other creatures of the night I'm fine with. Yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of zombies either. I think it's a cool concept, and I think it could actually happen. However, it doesn't do it for me. I'm kind of like, you know, if anything's gonna be undead, just do the vampire thing, because vampires are sexy, you know? Mohammed, Miss Mara, what are you usually looking for in a personal sub? I would recommend my personal subs YouTube video. You can find that on my channel. If you click on my name where this live stream is happening, it will link you. Whew. My cape is coming off. Man, this outfit takes a lot of like adjusting. Okay. Benny says, thanks, Goddess, for giving your worshipers to see you in this live stream. You're welcome. You should also thank people like TB, SP, and Charles, because those are my top tippers. I've had other tippers like Third Eye, who I hope joins later on because he's been super sweet. And a couple of other people who have tipped me to see my feet or put on lip gloss or whatever the case may be. So thanks to them too, and to other people who gifted me, you know, gift cards like to Amazon. Those all counted as well towards this live stream. Graham says, yes ma'am, perfectly pronounced. Very good, and your majesty's shoes sound lovely. They are black and gold to match my decor in my home. It's like that's my favorite color combination or something. Fresty says, you don't have the same mask as your photo. I don't know which photo you're talking about. If it's for the live stream photo, it is, because I literally took it before I got on this. And I'm not going to switch out a mask because I'm not that extra. I select my outfit, and that's going to be the outfit for the day. Liam says, the original reason of my nightmares was Michael Jackson in Thriller. I was like 6 when I saw it. I actually didn't watch that until way later. However, like the first like scary, but it wasn't really scary. It was like thrilling and like villainy with costumes was Batman Returns. When I saw like Michelle Pfeiffer and is it Danny DeVito, who's the Penguin? Those like really stuck to me, but it wasn't scary to me. I was just like, ooh, awesome costumes, and like the caricatures that they portrayed in the like Gotham universe of Batman was pretty cool to me. And I was so young when I saw that. And my parents, I mean, as long as my parents were in the room, they like allowed my sister and I to you know, watch anything. Hello! Raja has tipped me 3.99 euros. I don't know why he says, sorry, couldn't do £5, but that's okay. What would you like to see? My shoes, perhaps? Graham says, have you heard about the dyslexic zombie must eat Brian's? Oh my God. There's a guy, an American guy, who holds a sign in red and blue that says, get a Brian, morons. Please find it. It's so funny. But it also kind of shows like really unintelligent Americans. So take it as you please. Liam says, more general BDSM question. How is BDSM dominating with people with mental illnesses? Usually mental illnesses don't, like people with mental illnesses don't actually request anything because I don't know if it's in their capacity to do that. If I've come across somebody who doesn't seem coherent in their email, I automatically just don't respond because I don't know if that's fake. I don't know if it's real. I also don't have the time to like figure out what they're trying to say, because if you're trying to say something to me, it better be, you know, quick, easy, to the point, so we can schedule and start a relations. Muhammad said, Goddess, are we going to see more videos like the Lady Luck one? Because that was amazing. Have you seen my other short films? I have Transform, I have Cocoon, I have Sculptura. That's it so far because I haven't been able to work with other people or travel. So if you haven't seen those yet, I recommend, and give it a thumbs up if you like them. Fresty says, Miss Mara, is it possible to see one of your toys the next time Miss Mara will be nice that you wear a cat suit? It will be so sublime. Yeah, you can tip me to request an outfit change. I do requests for accessories over $25 and, you know, full on garb for over $50. So, let's see. Raja says, can I please see your shoes, Goddess? Yes, you may, because he tipped me. Let me make sure they're all nice and buckled properly, because I was a little in a hurry and wasn't able to buckle these both. So I'm gonna do that. And there we go. So these are my shoes for today. Woo! These are my shoes for today. Black and gold. How cool is that? With this? Ah, so good. That's the other shoe. What do you think? Do you think it matches? Do you like them? Raja says, we'll try and send tributes weekly, mistress. Small tributes, sorry. Yeah, I just pinned my Amazon wish list, so that is at the top of the chat. It's in blue. I think you'll be able to see it. If not, you can go to my website, dominamara.com, and go to my tribute page, and I have my Amazon wish list there as well, or other methods of tribute should you want to send me something. Graham says, the village of Gotham is only a few miles away from me in Nottinghamshire. Ooh, there's an actual village. I did not know this. Does Batman live there? Is that his British hometown? Henry says, do you have any toys? And if you do, please show them. You can request that of me if you tip me. I actually have toys in front of me, so I could give you a sneak peek for a minimum of $5 or pounds, depending on where you are, or euros. Liam says, I was thinking more of PTSD, depression, and autism still functioning, which could have effects on the scenes. Was just thinking what you thought. Saw this question on FetLife. Yes, so I have a interview with Dr. Susie about trauma, and you should check that out because I actually mentioned somebody who had PTSD and people who have had trauma through like growing up in their childhood, and I go through all of those things. And the childhood one, I also refer to age play, so check that out. It's a really good interview, and there's a professional therapist that's also in that. Raja says, "They're amazing, mistress. Matches, love them. Thank you." You're welcome, and thank you for your tip. Magnus, hello. Graham, stylish and elegant footwear, ma'am. Thank you. I picked it out myself. Fresty, excuse me for having written this Mistress Mara's message incorrectly. Next time, please accept to wear a catsuit and the gloves for your next YouTube live show. Not gonna happen unless I am tipped, or, you know, you can only request something if you tip me. I don't do these, I won't do that for free. I give my information freely because I am trying to educate and connect with my followers, but if it's something that isn't and doesn't have anything to do with that, I would like some sort of, you know, donation for that and for my efforts. Raja says, "Mistress, if I won't do a custom picture, how much will it cost? Love your feet, thank you." Do you mean how much will it cost to take a custom photo? And is that of my feet? Specify? Graham says, "Actually, some scenes for the next Batman movie were being filmed in Britain recently. In Liverpool, I think." Yes. However, what's his face? I don't remember his name, because the guy in Twilight, Robert something, got COVID. And so they had to postpone filming, and then everybody else that he interacted also had to be quarantined, which really sucks. So yeah, Robert Patterson, I don't know, the vampire guy in Twilight. I haven't seen it. Raja says, "Mr. Smara, can I DM you on Twitter if it's okay with you? Email me." I don't check my DMs. Yes, custom picture of your feet. Yes, please. Yeah, email me. Liam says, "Lovely. I'll check out the video." Asking because I have autism myself. All right, yeah. Autism is something that I feel that I can work with depending on like how autistic you are. And I don't mean that in a negative way at all. It's just like working with your situation. But with our like conversations through live stream, I would say you'll be fine. Raja says, "Sorry about my spelling mistake. Hate autocorrect." No problem. Graham, "I think your highness would make a perfect Catwoman." You know, Catwoman is an interesting character. I have seen all the iterations of her, and my favorite is this one. And I will link you guys because you need to watch this one. Because I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It was also directed, it's a short animated film, directed by a woman, and also voiced by a really well-known actress who did Dollhouse, Eliza something. Hold on, Catwoman DC short. Yes. It's a 2011 short film, and it was awesome. This is my favorite version of Catwoman, and she's kind of a dom. She holds a whip. All right. Oh, I didn't say that right, Graham. "I think your highness would make a perfect Catwoman." There. Liam asks, "Do you like any photograph scenes? Like you're the photographer and your victim is the person you're photographing?" That would kind of be in like blackmail role play, I feel. So Yeah, I do. Because with blackmail, you can also like have them, I can also have them tribute me to take that stuff off my social media. Say they don't want to be seen at all online, and maybe I'll take like from here down, or of them doing something like, I don't know, wearing a dress or something, I don't, something that they would find scandalous on their own platform. So then I'll put it, or they send me photos of themselves, and then they are like, please don't put this on your timeline. And I'm like, oh, but what if I do? You know, and that's negotiated, of course, that I am allowed to post what they send me, and then they need to tribute to take that off, kind of thing. So Liam says, ooh, yeah, no, personally, if I don't show it, I'm just quirky. Haha, kinda. Or, I'm just a quirky guy, haha, luckily, and no offense taken. I love quirky. Graham says, Eliza Dushku. Yes, that one. Graham says, yes, I've seen it. I'm a comics geek. An excellent animation. I love that short film so much. It's like, that to me is Catwoman, you know? But that's my personal opinion. She's so badass, though. Ugh, in that short film. Like, rides a motorcycle, knows how to pole dance, also whips people in the face. Whips the bad guys in the face. Yeah, Remy says Catwoman plus Dom plus whip equals Red Heart. Yes, me too. Liam says, I saw an ASMR video of a girl being like the photographer of a guy who was abducted before he was killed. Reminded me of this since it's kind of horror and kind of Halloween-ish. Yeah, I mean, that kind of thing is like a great, any kind of murder mystery, or like if you guys have been to, what are those dinners that have like, it's like a murder mystery dinner. Like you go and then somebody's murdered, and then it's interactive and you guys eat dinner and like try to find clues and figure out who did it. I've yet to go to one of those, but like I really want to. And then I also want to make something like that, which would be really awesome. Graham says, exactly right. The version of Selena Kyle is the closest to the comics character. Yes, agreed. She's the OG for me, like, but not super psycho like Michelle Pfeiffer, you know? That one was a little too, like, she was a little too out of it. I feel like Selena Kyle is super self-aware, the character. So. All right. Ooh, glad we could talk a little bit about, like, how do you call it? Not superheroes, because I don't like that word. It's very, like, the superhero genre has been so overdone. I'm really tired of seeing people kind of, like, cosplay it. I know it's huge. It's an American thing. But, I don't know. I think I'm just tired of it. But people who are, how do you call it? Anti-heroes, or, you know, kind of underdog characters, which is funny because she is a cat, like Catwoman, I think are very important to storytelling, and they actually help progress the story more than the heroes sometimes, because the hero has to like have feedback in their stories. And what better way to do that than an anti-hero, or like, you know, a villain or some sort, you know? I don't consider her to be like villainous though. She's a thief, but she's not a villain. Liam, would you dress up as Harley Quinn? My favorite and sexiest anti-hero / villain. Well, original one, not the movie one. Yeah, I haven't even seen Suicide Squad. I haven't seen birds of prey. I think I could do the original Harley Quinn, but she's kind of crazy too. I feel like the reason why I like Selena Kyle is because she's like slinky, sexy, subtle, and, you know, goes at her own pace and doesn't need to draw attention to herself, but everybody knows who she is. Everybody knows that she's like, she's just great. Like, she's got the goddess energy, you know? But I do have something that I do want to do in the vein of Harley Quinn. So hopefully I can do that next year. But COVID kind of screwed that up for me this year. So Benny, you prefer the side of the goddess or mistress? It depends on the day. I feel like I pull from each of those equally. You know, some days I enjoy domination more, some days I enjoy being worshipped more. So it really depends. I feel like I'm kind of always the goddess figure, whereas the mistress one, like, I can only be a mistress if there's somebody to do that with, you know? And whereas I do feel like a goddess every day. And that's not like putting myself on the pedestal, it's just saying like my spirit side is really strong. And connecting with like the universe and everything is very strong. So that also coincides with the goddess. I need some water. Graham says Harley was originally created for the 1990s animated Batman show. Great fun. Yeah, I really liked her in that series. However, I feel like people kind of just took that and tried to make her like a sexy thing. But in reality, she's actually like this like teenager who never got to grow up because she became infatuated with Joker. Liam, she was, and that was her best outfit. Although I like her anti-Joker personality more, where she is more of a character herself. I agree with that. I agree with that. Oh man, where can I put this? That's not going to be... No, that's distracting. Maybe I can do that on this side. Or maybe, I'll just have to grab it from over here. Benny says, or asks, do you apply the femdom side to your everyday life? Yes, I live it 24/7. So anytime, like, I need to do administrative work for myself, like answering emails, always doing that. You know, I also have a personal sub that I play with. And then, you know, just kind of like always thinking in the mindset of how I can create better content. So for my YouTube channel, for photo sets that are like on my website, or maybe short films in the future. I'm always thinking about that as well. And how I can marry that with like my artistic side, you know, with my artist maker side. So yeah. Does anyone have any like Halloween themed fantasies that they haven't been able to fulfill yet. Just posing that question out there. Liam says, if you yourself were a mythical being, Halloween theme, which one would you choose? I would like to try being a vampire for a little bit. I think that would be fun. You know, the whole invisibility thing, transforming into a bat and flying. Not really interested in like feeding on blood, but you know, I'll try anything once. Climbing ceilings and walking upside down on things because I defy gravity. Not being out during the daytime since I'm used to that due to quarantine. Yeah, probably a vampire. So, what about you all? What would you like to be if you had to pick a mythical being for Halloween? And while you're thinking about that, I'm just gonna shift over a little bit because in the background, I have an absinthe set that Charles has gifted me for Halloween, and I've already done one. I was going to put it in my video, but I didn't have time to edit it before the stream. But yes, it's delicious, and I may demo it again live. DP says Siren or Phoenix. Ooh. Siren would be a good one. Very good one. Because they kind of look, well, they can look very pretty or they can look very zombie-like too. So that's pretty cool. Phoenix. Phoenixes are pretty. Because hashtag Fire Nation. Remy says, I like to be a slave for Halloween. That just means you're not one in real life, I guess. Liam says, my unfulfilled dream is being dominated by a vampire with super strength, preferably also size difference, as in bigger than me. Also, I would definitely be a headless horseman. Ooh, I would love to capture the headless horseman. That'd be so, so fun. How tall are you, Liam? And what is your, yeah, how tall are you first? And what is your body stature? Like, average, blah, blah, blah. Ezada Sinn says, good evening, beautiful. So happy to see you live. Thank you for joining my stream. I have Halloween decor and I'm decked out in gold and have, you know, a glamorous feel. So I'm so happy that you're able to come and join me. Everybody, this is a mistress who is in Europe. I believe, is it Romania? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, also has a beautiful setup and I believe also loves gold. So thanks for joining my stream. I feel so special. Remy says, I am a slave in real life. Just wanted to say that I would remain one on Halloween. Ah, good for you. Graham, an immortal being would do nicely. I want to see what happens in 1,000,000 years' time. I mean, vampires could kind of be immortal. As long as you don't stab them or they avoid the sun and holy water. Although most of the things that I've seen, garlic isn't really a thing, so. Remy says, Goddess Ezada is from Romania. Yes. Fantastic. I was right. Okay. Liam says around 6'1.5". My body type is more overweight, like cute, fat, not ugly fat. I mean, I have quarantine bod right now. I've gained so much weight since the beginning of all of this, which is so terrible. And I've tried to like dance. I've tried to do like home workouts, but it's so hard. It's really, really hard. But yeah, with my 6-inch heels, my platforms, I believe I would be able to be around a height that could overpower you for sure. But every body is beautiful, so don't ever call yourself ugly. Don't. I like body positivity. And yes, man, okay, so it's already 2. I feel like it's already getting darker. I don't know how, I don't know why, but daylight savings time isn't for another, day. But yeah. Liam says, that's lovely to hear. Damn, being negative to myself is my greatest strength. You can get punished for that. And if you do it often and it's a bad habit, that's a lot of punishment. So that'll be good punishment though. All right. It may be time to actually work this thing since an hour has passed already. Let's see. So this is like the beautiful absinthe thing. Graham says, my ex-wife used to do professional belly dancing but remained amply pear-shaped, which suited her very well. Yes, actually, there's quite a few belly dancers who still have lots of curves. And you know what? I think it fits the aesthetic. I actually prefer a very curvy like belly dancer as opposed to like a really, rigid one. That's my personal preference just because like curves really make the waves of the belly dancing like so much more enhanced, if that makes sense. Liam says, I guess all my good grades and sucking up to teacher will be overshadowed by my self-hatred. Well, our first session would be all punishment then. That's not necessarily a bad thing because sometimes I like to really draw out those punishments, so. Fresty says, is it possible to see you without your mask? I don't know. Are you going to tip me for it? I may take it off eventually because I have to keep on adjusting it and it is driving me a little insane. But yes, this is also the glass that comes with this. And look at how beautiful these spoons are. Kind of looks like my mask. It looks like the missing pieces of my mask. Graham says, quite right, ma'am. Feminine curves work for me. Honestly, any body is beautiful. Like, if you work with what you got, Gonna turn this way. Maybe I'll put this poster over here. And I'll put this over here. So it's going to be a little bit... No, it doesn't Oh, it's blocking the pumpkin. Man, but I like the pumpkin. Okay. Maybe I'll just set this in front of me somewhere. Okay. And I also want to thank MP for giving this to me because this is such a beautiful kettle, and the one that I had previously broke. So it also matches my decor. Ezada Sinn says, yes, I am Romanian, hence I kept missing these live streams. Oh, because of the time zone. Well, I'm glad you got today's. Today's a kind of good one. I hope it's a good one. If you guys are enjoying this video, give it a thumbs up. I want to see lots of thumbs ups. Liam says, I like to be a good boy though. Also, I can belly dance. The thing you do with your belly muscles, not the dancing style. How cute. Presty says, is it possible to see your costume in its entirety, Mistress Mara? Well, I'm about to stand up to pour some water into this container, so you'll see some more of it. And again, your request must be done with tips. And you can tip by pressing the $ under the chat button. Graham says, indeed, my Jamaican friend is an apple-shaped lady and has been told how beautiful she is many times. Love it. Love hearing that. A man vlogs. Hi, love from India. Hello. Remy says, Goddess Ezada is a Stapana. I don't know what that is. Raja says, send tip to Mistress Mara. Be good boys. Yes, I agree with you. Be a good boy and send me stuff. Okay. So, how can I do this elegantly? This is kind of what I'm wearing. And then there are slits on my dress that you can, I don't know, you can't really see it, but maybe later. I don't know. I'm also very tall for this, so I'm going to bend down. So this comes off like so. This pours in here. Where is, oh, we have to go get my, whoosh. I should have like sound effects. This is the French absinthe that I've tried and it is delicious. Let's see. Ezada says, I'm trying to send a sticker, but it does not work. Do you have a card attached to it, perhaps? You have to have a type of payment, I think. Yeah, Raja says, you press the $1 and send a sticker. Hopefully it works. Liana says, are you a real dominatrix? Because unfortunately there are a lot of false dominatrix. It's a shame to ask you this question. Well, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I'm a professional. And lifestyle for over 7 years. Liam says, you look gorgeous. Awesome outfit. Ezada says, I know how to do it. It's an issue to send. I would love to hear your views on matriarchy. Yes, please. Ask away. Graham says, greetings to Mistress Ezada. Liam says, absinthe. Isn't that booze? Yes, it is. Ray Day. Have you ever done public humiliation? Yes, I have. At an ATM. where I was getting paid. Fresti, beautiful costume mistress. Not really a costume, but yes, you can call it that. For sure. All right, so I believe it's one part. Absinthe. And this will go in here. And then we unwrap one of these sugars. Liam says, ew. I do wonder, how would you be in Matriarchy? That question doesn't really make sense. I need a little bit more context. Putting the sugar on the spoon, and I'm going to, do you like my little ghost cup? It says New Orleans on it, French Quarter. This side doesn't want to go. Perhaps on the other one? Let's see. This side definitely was working. Ah, there we go. Oh, you can barely see that. But yes. Ray Day, what is the most humiliating thing I've ever made a sub do? Well, that's kind of relative. You know, it depends on the sub and what they find humiliating. But probably stand naked in front of a room, hotel room, and it was facing the entrance to it, and they had naughty words written on them in lipstick, and they had to put their hands up and behind their neck, and yeah, me hitting their or giving them CBT. Another thing, like a lot of people don't like doing is, you know, getting on their knees in public in front of an ATM and having to give me their cash. Because other people have to watch them do it in broad daylight. So. Here's some ASMR for you guys. All right. Happy Halloween, everyone. Cheers. Frosty says, did you dominate a person for more than one day? Was it long? Yes, but we took breaks. I had a Canadian sub who came and visited me, and it was his first time, and he really liked it, so he played with me for 3 days, and it was awesome every single time. Liam says the ew was for the absinthe. I hate alcohol. Good for you. I love it. So cheers. I will drink for you. Liam says, would you like the world to be a matriarchy? Yes, I would, because I was born into a very, very strong line of females. That's also why I think I have like this goddess side that's really, 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 really important in my life, is because I've had a lot of power passed down from my mother and my mother's mother, and I don't feel like there's anything else in the world like it. You know, everybody, all the women in my family are in charge. And I feel that now in these dark times is probably the time for a woman to step up and, you know, rule everything and make important decisions, because the men aren't doing a very good job. Liam says, you must be careful. They might think you're robbing them. Ah, Ezada! Mistress Ezada has given me a sticker. 50, I don't even know what a run is. I know it's Romanian, but I don't know here, I should know this. Romanian currency. I guess you pronounce it liu? Romanian liu? Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But thank you so much for your tip. Mwah! Lions. Oh my God, I love that even more because I'm a Leo. I'm a fellow lion. That's so cool. Oh, I love that so much. Oh, Mistress Ezada says, I love your channel very much. Thank you. I do appreciate it. And I have a playlist that I would love for you to be a part of. If you are open to me visiting one day when all of this is, you know, sorted, I would love to tour your space and introduce you and have you on my channel as well. It would be like a collab. Ray Day, has anyone worshipped your feet in public? I've had people kiss my feet or my shoes and the sides of my boots on the street. And given me foot massages like at a cafe under the table. Graham says, cheers, the last time I drank absinthe, I got pleasantly inebriated with friends. Perhaps Kamala Harris will be president in 2024. Who knows? Her what do you call it? Potential president is very old. These are all old guys. Mistress Ezada says, I would love to hear your thoughts on matriarchy, and that visiting would be a pleasure. Yay! Super excited. Okay, so for those who don't know what matriarchy is, I'm going to give you the definition of it right now so that you understand where I'm coming from. So a matriarchy, by definition, is a system of society governed and ruled by a woman or women. So if you use it in a sentence, it'd be like a matriarchy run by moral, superior women. Doesn't sound dominatrixy at all. I'm being sarcastic if you couldn't tell. But yeah, so social systems, like society in which we are, you know, conditioned to live in, have always, and I'm talking about like civilized society. So things with governments, things with like any structure basically that is recognized nationally, right? So the US is a #1 world power. It's like a first world power, I'll say. Not that they're #1, it's just that they're a first world power, and it's been founded by a bunch of guys and has been for the last how many freaking years? I don't even know, like 250, almost 250 years. And I think that, you know, so many people, especially when like, I don't want to bring her up because I wasn't really a supporter, but like when Hillary Clinton was going to be a candidate or was a candidate for presidency, a lot of people decided to vote for our current president because she was a woman, not because like her ideals were different. And even if they had similar ideals, they were still going to choose the other person because he was a man. And I don't think that's right. I think there's a lot of patriarchy that still is happening here in the world. And I think that things really need to change about that. It is making me happy that, you know, vice presidency is looking, or like the new judge is looking, you know, a little bit more in female powers, but not as much as I would like still. And obviously haven't seen a lot of movement with like, how do you call it? Internal stuff. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, Ezada, but I'm trying to like start a conversation based on what's happening in the world. I do know that Graham says it would be a pleasure if Madame Caramel joined Mistress Ezada on a chat for your channel, Mistress. There are a number of ancient societies that were run along matriarchal slash genocratic lines. Yeah, no, I'm getting to that. So, and this is going to sound like me preaching to the choir, and I'm pretty sure that Mistress Ezada already knows this, but for everybody else, Graham is right. There are a lot of tribes that had women and the elders of women running their the people. And okay, hang on. Let's see. Remy says OWK is a matriarchy. Yes, I'm aware, and I would love to visit that one day. Graham says the Celts, for example. Oh, I didn't know that, actually, about the Celts. Mistress Ezada says, I'm more interested in the matriarchy at a family level. Ooh, okay. I can definitely talk about that because I have that firsthand when women are in charge of the household. Do you have a specific thing that you would like me to talk about, though? Because in my family, like, so my mother's side is, like, all matriarchal, meaning, like from my godmother, she owns and runs the entire film industry in the Philippines. And then her daughter, like, started her career by directing. And then from there, they spread out and then started doing music. And now they're part of the music industry and everything. And everybody literally in the Philippines calls her Mother, blah, 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 her name. So it's kind of really cool that even other people who are not part of her actual family call her Mother. So that's how big of a reach that she has with that kind of thing. On my grandmother's side, so she's like my grandmother's aunt or cousin. On my grandmother, she came from a line of people who like actually were more about the boys. But because my grandmother created her own business for herself with my grandfather, they did a joint business. She got more respect because she went independent and it wasn't part of the family or anything. She just did her own thing. Gave birth to 4 daughters. And those daughters had 2 daughters each. So we are all, you know, I'm the eldest of all the granddaughters per se. And I think I've always felt like I've been really blessed to have women be in charge because I am like really good with finances. I'm good with organizing. I'm good with house chores. I'm good with everything else. And the men literally have to just do what the women say because they already have the system down. Liam says, I wonder how my life would change if this was a matriarchy. You do have in Egypt Queen Cleopatra. She was fabulous looking. Definitely. She was an inspirational fashion person, a business person, and a pretty good queen. Seductive queen. Ray Day, political matriarchy is not possible in democracy. Moreover, all politicians screw over the general public, regardless of their gender. Well, I've been waiting to see that happen, though, because women haven't been in those positions of power that I could actually be like, oh yeah, historically that did happen. So, but you do have a point. Matriarchy at family level is pragmatic. Yeah, I agree with that. Mistress Ezada says, I'm curious if you feel like families would be better run by women in general and what your expectations are for your family. You know boys are fans. You know I am a mother. Oh, thank you again for another tip, Mistress Ezada. I always think that it is better to be run with women because in tribal days, they would dedicate specific tasks for people. There's chores. They would send the guys out hunting. And for procreation, for some tribes, I'm not saying all of them, for some tribes, they got to choose who they mated with, and they could have more than one lover. So say they wanted to have a child with guy A over there. For that season of mating, she would go have her way with him, become pregnant, and then have a kid. And if the next season she wanted to continue with that guy, she got to choose that guy. And that was acceptable. If she wanted to choose guy B, that was also acceptable. She could have multiple people as long as they had, a system of who's having which person for the season or whatever. That's just an example. And I think that's really cool. I also think that should come back. I think in this day and age, more and more women are finding that they have more of a say on when they should get married, if they should even get married. If they wanted to have multiple lovers, people are becoming more open to polyamory or being polygamous. So that's really cool. Graham says, I met a stunning transgender person at a friend's wedding a few years ago. When she was male, she used to be a politician in the Philippines. Very sweet. Very cool. Rayday says, Angela Merkel effed up Germany. I am not familiar with her, so I don't know if I can say anything about that. Liam says, polygamy, blasphemy. Might be to you. To other people, that is a lifestyle. And for people like Mistress Ezada and myself, I don't actually want a family, but if I have a partner who wants to be in a romantic relationship with me, they allow me to do my job, to see other people, to engage in very intimate ways with them. And because we've agreed with that about that in the beginning and that those things were clear, it's okay. So I really like that. I also like that I kind of run my relationships. I run how long I want to spend with everybody else. I want to, I like to say what's appropriate. So if there's somebody who's interested in me, and they're a sub, and they want me to meet their children, I say when it's okay to meet them or not, if ever, to bring them into the lives, because you have to come up with a backstory, you have to come up with all this stuff, and I have to remember all these things, because I'm not going to be irresponsible and just be like, who are you again? No, I'm not going to do that. Graham says, Viking women had the same legal status as men and were known as key holders. Ooh, I love that so much. And we know key holders have a very important job. Ray Day says, I support matriarchy at a family level. If my mother was running things, my life would have been much better. My father effed up our finances and sold most of the family property for a third of the market price. Ooh. Yeah, I feel like, so I worked in the entertainment business for a little bit. That means the film industry. And all the people who are like producers and some like directors were female. That's because they can schedule, they could strategize, and they knew what to do with the budget. And I feel like that's the same thing as in, households. They know where the money should go. They know when to buy. Men might be better at like stocks and trading and stuff like that, things that have to do with like wiring the brain with very technical details. However, women are a lot more about figuring out things as a bigger picture, if that makes sense. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying all men, all women. I'm just saying in general, we are wired to be like this. So that is why it's successful. Mr. Ezada says, I am into polyandry too. I am officially married and have kids, but also several other colored boys. That's the life, isn't it? I'm actually pretty monogamous. I think I'm going to be expanding that in the future, but right now I have, if I'm going to be with a partner, I will dedicate myself to that partner and like make sure that we both have a really, really solid foundation before opening it up to other things. That doesn't include play though. Like if I'm doming other people and we have our intimate times, we typically go home afterwards and like everything's okay. Everything is like, we go back to our daily lives. However, the collaring, which Mistress Ezada has said, is very important because that is kind of like a wedding ring. It is a commitment to that person. So like the sub, if they are collared, they commit 100% to you, whatever you've negotiated, and that in itself means that, she has to take care of them. She's like a key holder in the sense of like not even just chastity, which it could involve, but like she's a key holder to their heart, to their entire being. So, let's see. Liam says, haha, I'm not saying people shouldn't. I'm just jealous and don't want my lover to be with someone else. But you be you, mistress. I hate sharing my love. I need all them cuddles. I was like you for a very long time. Ray Day. Did you ever have any mishaps during sessions? My online friend lost an eye during a high heel trampling session. That sounds really unsafe. And I'm so, whoa, that's like appalling that that happened to them. That means the person didn't know what they were doing, who was trampling. And that's why you gotta do your due diligence as subs. You gotta make sure that you are seeing a professional. Do your research, read their websites, ask other mistresses about them because we all talk. We all know each other. We see each other online. As you can see here, like we converse with each other. It's not like, oh, they're just because Mistress Ezada's in Romania doesn't mean that we won't talk, Please be safe. If somebody is doing something on you and you're playing and they are not, it doesn't seem like things are feeling right, stop the session or like let them know, Don't be scared to do that, please. Graham says, Mistress is absolutely right. Always. Keys are so important. Yes, they are. Mistress Ezada said, yes, it is. Exactly. Each relationship requires a lot of work and time and lots of emotional involvement from both of us. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people kind of like, they see, people who manage like different relationships as like, oh, you're just really like slutty, or like, oh, you just want to be with a bunch of people so that you can have sex with them. It's like, no, some of those don't even, well, like for what we do, those don't even involve that sometimes. Like they don't involve intercourse. And that's the best part is like, we can play. It's still a real relationship, but we do it our way, But it doesn't mean that we're not connected also. We're connected through the heart, we're connected through the mind, we're also connected through like the experience and what's happening in the same room. Because no one else, even if I did that same act with other people, no one else is going to feel that same way that you did at that time, you know? Graham says, my mother was a research scientist, so I regarded women as every bit as capable as men from an early age. Yeah, like, so out of the 4 sisters that I was talking about that my grandmother had, one of them is an accountant, so she's like a financier. A second one is a buyer for a really prestigious billion-dollar corporation. Another one is a what do you call it? And that's in food too, which is awesome. The other one is an engineer. She was a civil engineer. And the other one, I think, is also in finance. But yeah, really capable, hardworking women. And they trained me well. Also because I'm Asian. And if you watched my other videos about, you know, kind of being of some Asian descent, like I had a tiger mom, and a tiger mom is somebody who really like just is on you all the time, 24/7. And I think that's where I got my dominant side from, is like, you know, my mother always wanted the best for me. My mother always expected the best from me. And because of that, I have really high expectations for myself. And I think having that type of background and having somebody push that on you, but like in a loving, it's tough love. It's like tough love way, makes for like a really strong leader. And I find that that's kind of like what my matriarchal family has done for me. And I'm super grateful for that. I will always be grateful for that. Stan, hello, happy Halloween. I'm glad that you can make it today. Ray Day, thoughts on mistresses who ignore pain limits and safe words to make videos for sale. This trend has escalated a lot during the last few years. I agree with you, and that's why they're not real doms. I think that people who are real have gone to classes, they've learned or have mentored under people who have done it for real in the past. They understand anatomy and take the safe, like, how do you call it? Classes on safety, not just technique, but also safety about the human body. And then maybe they go into session with somebody else who's watching them, who's, you know, training them and saying like, oh, no, that's not where you hit that, you know, this is the hit spot. Or no, or now's the time to take that person out of rope because they've been in the rope for 30 minutes, you know, and that's a little long. They're new to it, or their body doesn't know how to adapt to that type of bondage yet, you know? I think it's really irresponsible if you start calling yourself a dom and you know nothing, you've never been to a class, you've never been to any events or anything that has to do with the lifestyle, and you're just seeing what other people have done online and like, you know, copying it. Stan says, yeah, I thought I might stop by. Yay! I'm glad you did. It's just Ezada says, Ray, is this from your personal experience? I think this is from his online friend who got hurt, who lost his eye, which is terrible. Like, oh my God, I already have poor eyesight and that would kill me if I lost an eye. Ugh, that's brutal. Mistress Ezada says, I'm not aware of anyone ignoring safe words in the femdom industry. There are, I've seen it. I've seen subs request those Insta doms. Like, I don't want a safe word, especially if it's like fin doming, like financial domination. Like, I want you to drain me and like take everything. This is like one example, not all of them, but this is one example that I've seen a lot of. And they will just like take and take, and then be like, bye. And the guy's just like, I don't have any money left. And it's just, they put themselves in the situation, but the girl also didn't take into consideration that that guy might have to pay rent or have a family to support or whatever. She didn't negotiate any of the stuff, or didn't consider like his lifestyle, his living situation. So I've seen that a lot online, because I've seen a lot of girls being like, oh, I can do financial domination too. And it's just like, oh my God, that's not what domination's about. It's not just taking somebody's money. Graham says, the chemistry of BDSM relationships can be extremely stimulating. Appropriately, though, there are plenty of fireworks exploding outside here. Your family sounds wonderful, ma'am. They do, like every other family, they do have their ups and downs, and I feel like because of my domination work, I've actually been able to be very articulate and talk to them more about things when they come up, kind of like negotiation. And I wasn't able to do this before I was a dom, so I have my job to thank for that. Liam says, should a sub go into such classes for being a sub? Do those exist? Yes, they do. 100%. Any kinkster can have, classes, because it's about your safety too. It's not just about the dom. The dom isn't, they are responsible during the time of play, but it's not just on them. Like, if you as a sub know exactly where you should be, impacted on, you need to tell the dom, like, hey, I learned this in class. You're only supposed to be in this area. Other areas, it's not safe. And you won't know that unless you go to those classes. It's helpful, I think. Not just experience, but it's helpful. Mistress Ezada says, exactly. I would be crushed if I had an accident like the eye thing. That would happen to me. But the subs are consensual adults. Yes, but they have to have that negotiation, and some irresponsible femdoms don't do that. The domina does not have to negotiate the online play like the in-person domination. I really think the boys should be responsible for their budget, and femdom not to be blamed for this. I think yes and no. I think as an adult male who has finances, they should be able to cap themselves at a certain point, like have the necessity and then have their spending money. But sometimes it becomes an addiction, kind of like gambling. And I think that some guys are really weak. And so I have the sensibility, and this is just my personal take, I have the sensibility to be like, okay, this guy says that they have a family, so I already know that. This guy says they can only tribute like once a month, so I know that. And then I will ask them questions. Like, I will take it into my initiative to be like, okay, how much money can you spend in the span? How much money can we spend? And then I was like, just give me a ballpark budget. And let's say $200. Okay, $200. I will draw the play out for every little thing that they do. So say like they have to tribute me every time that they don't write mistress in front of Mara. Something simple, right? Or they don't capitalize the M. And I'm just like, $10 for every time you don't capitalize the M. Or $10 for every time you don't say mistress in front. And because you did it again, we're going to double that, and now it's 20. But I will always have the 200 in my mind and make sure that I don't pass it. But that's just me. I like to know that, I'm taking them into consideration. And because I do that, I have repeat clients. Like, they come back because they know that I care. Yeah, I don't know. Mistress Ezada says you are kind. Thank you. Graham says, my best friend who used to be a professional mistress was always extremely conscious of safety considerations. So this is my Jamaican friend. She's very pink and fluffy mistress, but entirely dominant. Yes, and I know tons of other doms who are also pink and fluffy, but also have their pink fluffy shoes on a male's back. You can look whatever you want, just because like a lot of doms wear black doesn't mean you have to. I know a lot of doms who like purple. I know a lot of doms who wear red, and pink is a very feminine color, and it's very empowering to wear that's such a feminine color and still be dominant. I think that's good on them, It's about the person and the personality and how they and the power exchange and how they can control the situation. The outfits and the colors, those are secondary to me. Mistress Ezada says, the beauty of dominance is to be yourself. 100%. Ray Day says, there's a Twitter account called Daddy Jazzy. She poses as a dom, but she's a legit blackmailer and even flaunts it. She gets a lot of criticism for other mistresses as well. I mean, people are going to do what they're going to do. Unfortunately, like, they are probably only going to stop until something happens to them that makes them learn, you know, a life lesson that makes them change. So until that happens, I mean, there's only so much people can say. If people read the criticisms and understand where this person is going, then they should know going into it that she's no bueno. Krishma says, love from India. Amazing mask. Thank you. Mistress Ezada says, not to be a stereotype. Yeah, and I think that I also break the stereotype because usually I don't dress in leather or latex. I dress it occasionally, and I dress in those things if somebody requests it. But actually, I'm pretty casual. Like, I like to be glam sometimes. I like to be gothic sometimes. But most of the time, I like to be myself, like, as I am. And most people don't mind it because they're there for the experience. Of course, I'm not in, like, gym wear unless that's what somebody has requested of me. But, like, you know, it also depends on my mood. Some days I like lacy lingerie. Some days I like being fully clothed, head to toe. So, yeah. Mario says, hello, Miss Mara. How's your day going? It's going well. Thank you. I hope yours is going well as well. Liam says, I wonder what you think about a corruption fetish. Like, similar to blackmail, where you're trying to kind of mess up their lives? Or, like, what do you mean? Or is that religious? Or political? Because those are corrupt. I don't know. Krishma says, I like to see a dominatrix in their usual dress. I think I like people more no matter the dress. I am with you on that one. But again, that's personal taste. Some people only like to see doms in, like, sexy tight gear, you know? And that's a thing. That's why it's a thing. Ray Day says, what's the strangest request made to you by sub? Somebody asked me this last week, and I said it was about, how do you call it? I said it was about armpits. Because they wanted me to do things so specific, like not shower for 3 days and, like, wear long sleeve shirts so that it would soak up in the armpits, and then, like, for me to check in and smell it so that it would be, like, potent or something. And I'm just like, dude, you're topping from the bottom. This is a lot of requests, and I'm just like, if I'm gonna do the scent thing, like, it's gonna be how it is the day of, like, you know? If I didn't shower for a day, that's on me. But for you to request that, I'm just like, ugh, that's not my thing. So not necessarily strange, but I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna do it. So... Graham says, wise words, Your Highness. Compliments to Mistress Ezada. Having seen your website, YouTube channel, etc., your experience, knowledge, and empathy are most impressive. Yeah! Okay. Yeah, Mistress Ezada has run an empire online. And I'm sure in person too, of course. But I've only seen online, so I can only appreciate and admire from afar. Ray Day says, what is your favorite fetish? I really like bondage. I really like Japanese rope and doing a lot of different things while somebody's tied up. And also because you can, like, tie them to different things. Mistress Ezada says, thank you. And I think that, I mean, I also really like to tie when doing CBT. So that's a thing. Because you can drag them by that rope, you know, instead of using like all the metal stuff. If you have nothing at all, like rope is something that I could just use for the whole time. If I had nothing else in the room, I could use rope. I can even use rope to hit somebody with because it will feel like, you know, there's whiplash. So I also like my feet worshipped, so that's another thing. And I can do that while somebody's being tied as well. Krishma says, is it weird if a guy wants his parents or sister to be a sub to his dom? Family play, getting family into this is a little kind of taboo, isn't it? But I don't know. I think that's up to your guys' negotiations, and I can't speak for it because I haven't experienced that myself, but I think it gets kind of muddy, don't you think? So, I don't know. Ray Day, have you heard about the Japanese femdom Naomi Asano? No, I have not. Mario, you and Mistress Ezada Sinn are one of my favorite doms. Yay! Mistress Ezada says, Mara, your art is unique. Your short clips are just amazing. Oh, thank you. I'm a storyteller, so one of my favorite things to do, and I'm an artist as well, is like, you know, take my experiences and then translate them into something that is like never been seen before, and also bridges domination, because there aren't a lot of like really nice and good femdom films out there, especially done by actual femdoms. Like, I do everything myself, and so I think that is one of the things that I can say, like, for a really big you know, accomplishment is like I can do all of those things. Like, there's like memes that are like, get yourself a girl who can do both, and I can do both. So, Mistress Ezada says, I love Namia. Or Naomi. Yeah, I'll check her out. I'm not familiar with her. Is there a reason why you brought her up, Rayday? Krishma says, yeah, I've seen many tweets about mom and son combo subs worshiping a dom. I think it's hot, but also weird. It's like something you want to do it, but never do it. Maybe it's something you want to do. It's not something I want to do. Remy says, Namio or Naomi. I think it's Naomi. Because it sounds like a Japanese name. Rayday says, you are amazing, Miss Mara. You are a ray of sunshine. People around you can't be unhappy. Thank you. That's my goddess side. I would like to think that. Mistress Ezada says, Naomi, the artist, face sitting, and water sports, we are talking about different things probably. Oh, okay. Maybe I should check both out. Krishma says Naomi is a character from Japanese anime One Piece. I'm sure Naomi is like a really, it's a well-known name. There's also Naomi Campbell, and model and actress. So Rayday. Naomi Asano, is known for her hardcore stuff. Just Google it. On a good day, she brands her subs. Huh. I wonder what a bad day is for her. Don't say it if it's not PG. Liam says, that's Nami from One Piece. You nerds duke it out. I've never watched One Piece, so I don't know. Rayday says, just Google Naomi Asano Yapu Market. Okay. I'll do it later. For sure. Yeah. Favorite movie? The Fifth Element or The Fall. Liam says, I'm sorry, my mistress, I have to go right now. Oh, well, thanks for stopping by as usual, Liam, and I hope I see you next time. Good job on capitalizing today. Very good. I noticed, so thank you for doing that. Krishma says, now many animes and movies have femdom and female-led characters and feet and stuff, kind of getting common. I've actually seen that too. I think it's not that it's common now. I think it's more accepted. So now they're actually like illustrating it because Japan is like one of the #1 fetish countries in the world. And it's really, really like, it's been around forever. It's just that now it's becoming more accepted by everybody else. So they're like, it's okay to put it in there. So, and I'm happy that it is. The one that I did see recently was Food Wars. And I think there's a Dom character in that one. Liam says, yes, see you next time. Mistress Ezada says, I must leave. It's midnight in Romania. It was a pleasure. I'm a big fan. Oh, thank you so much. I am a fan of yours too. And I hope you have a wonderful night. And happy Halloween. Thank you for stopping by and for the tips. Hope to see you again soon. Ray Day says, I always hate how American mainstream media portrayed people with fetishes. I agree with that. I think people who also do short films here in America don't necessarily make it the most flattering or the most, like, elegant. Like, it's really, dare I say, like, trashy or really, like, there's no substance to it. It's like, it's about the cinematography or the shot or like the shoes, you know, the very materialistic stuff. There's no connection. There's no like, it's just a hot scene sometimes, you know, and I don't find that there's a healthy psychological portrayal of it. I haven't seen it yet. That's why I'm doing my own films, because I want to show those things in my way, obviously. Mario says, love Food Wars. It was good until the last season. I did not like the last season. I think they rushed through it. Could also be because of the pandemic, but I was not happy with how fast it went. I think they could have doubled the amount of episodes and really drawn out the story and the backstory a little bit more. And the food scenes, the cooking scenes, that's what really got me to it the first couple of seasons, so. Krishna says, it's 3:40 a.m. here in India, lol. You're a night owl, that's for sure. Liam says, before I leave, a cartoon for kids that contains loads of fetishes, totally spies. Huh. I should check that out, question mark? All right, thanks, Liam. Tony, what do you like the most as a dominatrix? Are you talking about fetishes and interests? Because I said bondage. And having my feet worshipped. Or receiving foot stuff. Graham, Naomi Campbell hailed from South London, of course, an incredibly diverse community. There are many exotic, beautiful ladies here. My friend from the Caribbean, for instance. Huge nod to that. Ray Day, what is your favorite TV series? Ooh, probably Orphan Black. Orphan Black was very, like, a very underrated, or, like, not underrated, but, like, low-key, very low-key series that I feel like stuff like that has been done before, but not in the same way, and not with the, like, Olympian acting that Tatiana has done. She was so good. One actress, ton of characters. Krishma says, Family Guy and Rick and Morty has a lot of it. Even for adult, it might be too much. I don't watch those, but I'll take your word for it. Liam says, it was where I discovered some likes of mine since I was a kid. There's videos on YouTube that compile it. Not sure how it got on TV. Furry, muscle ladies, force feeding, and hundreds more. Huh. In Belgium? Interesting. Maybe you guys are more kinkier than people know. Ray Day says, if you like The Fifth Element, please see Predestination starring Ethan Hawke. Huh. I liked him in Gattaca. Gattaca was a good one. It was very, like, ephemeral and, like, very ambiance. And I kind of cried with his best friend guy thing. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I was so heartbroken. Predestination, huh? Predestination movie. Huh. 2014. Oh, agent and time travel. Wow, look at that. Gattaca is one of my favorite movies. Very underrated sci-fi movie. I agree. I really liked it as well. Also, like, Uma Thurman, I didn't know about her back then, but yeah. I think that's where they, like, because didn't they have a kid? I think they had a kid. Liam says, no, Totally Spies was a Canadian show that went to America too. Oh, they made a movie about that, I think. We got it here too, of course, but it's not ours. Gotcha. Graham says, realistic portrayals of fetish-based relationships are few and far between on film and TV, apart from being a ripoff of Secretary movie, 50 Shades pandered to some awful stereotypes. Yes, like, I know. And it was supposed to be a fan fiction. I think people forget that. It was a fan fiction of the Twilight characters. I read the books. I didn't watch the movie because I wanted to know what I was talking about. Also, low-key, my mom actually read the books 3 to 4 times each. So, not sure if that was a hereditary trait, but, you know, I don't know. Maybe the apple actually does not fall from far from the tree. I was trying to be dramatic at the same time. Maybe the apple does not fall far from the tree. There we go. My goodness. Mario says, you've got to watch My Hero Academia. You'll like one of the characters, probably. Which character would I like and why? You gotta sell me on the character or the story or something. Ray Day says, I like such movies. Fight Club, Shutter Island, 12 Monkeys, Looper. I liked Fight Club. Shutter Island, I was like, about, but I get it. I get what they were trying to do. Looper, is that the one with the, oh my gosh, there was an indie film. Wait, I have to look that up because I think I did see that one. No, it wasn't this one. There was another one that had like a bunch of wires. I don't remember if it was about time travel or like sci-fi. Oh, I thought it sounded like Looper in my head, but I can't really remember what it is. But yeah, I like psychological thrillers as well. Liam says, well, now I have to sleep. Ooh, yeah, but My Hero Academia, the Dom hero, she is fabulous. All right, we'll keep that in mind. Good night. Graham says, my gothic Dom gave me a copy of Gattaca many years ago. I shall have to get it again. I'm sure you can find it online. But that's not coming from me. I don't know where you could find that, so. Ooh, we have passed the 2-hour limit, you guys. And let's see. It's still not dark enough. I was gonna like light candles because I have candles in here, but not yet. Oh yes, Ray Day. That movie was Primer. Yes, that was. Yes. Very good. Gold star for you. That was Yeah, that was a time travel one. I thought that was the Looper one because it kind of sounds similar, the Primer and Looper thing. But yeah, I have to like watch that again because I feel like I forgot how that thing went, even though there's like a chart made online about it on Wikipedia. Graham says, I always use the phrase the apple doesn't fall far in connection with my friend's daughter. She also loves leather rock music and motorbikes. Yeah, I mean, I think it was passed down. Magdalena, mi amor. Didn't want to say something, but I have to. It's plain fetishizing and dehumanizing to call humans exotic. Someone who has been called that all their life. I can see where you're coming from, and I definitely I welcome this conversation for sure. And thank you for saying something. I've also been called exotic for a lot of my life. However, like I feel like this is my personal opinion. I feel like a lot of Caucasian people or people who don't have like ethnic resemblance to, diverse cultural appearances get called exotic a lot. And I've learned to kind of embrace it because, I am mixed. I'm Chinese, Filipino, and Spanish. And so I do have a mix that there are definitely Chinese, Filipino, Spanish around, but it's still uncommon to like the Western side. And so I don't know what other way that they could say it in a quick, like, fashion that is politically correct. I guess they could just call you by your actual ethnicity, like Chinese, Filipino, Spanish. But I've had people call me because I'm Chinese. I've heard people call me yellow, and I'm just like, I mean, it's true, but it's also like not the nicest thing that you can call an Asian person. So I mean, and then there's like the Oriental thing, which I was called that in like, I visited Wyoming, and somebody was just like, no, I'm from the Midwest, and this is just how they say it. They don't know Asian. She's like, just pretend that they don't have a very large vocabulary. And I was just like, yeah, I've learned to just like accept it. She says, oh, hell no. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. It's your personal opinion and you're totally entitled to it. And I think that, if it's not comfortable for you, I think you are in your right to say so to whoever it is you're conversing with, and, make it known. Make it known that you're just like, hey, I'm not comfortable with being called exotic, because I see it. It is a slightly it's like an objectifying term, and oh, so she says, sorry for you being called that. It's fine. At this point, like I have gone through racism for the first time in Argentina, in an all girls private British school, because I was like the only Asian in the school. So I've been with this, and that was when I was 9. So I've been with this for a really long time. I've been comfortable, even though it shouldn't be comfortable, for a long time, but I can talk about it articulately because I've processed it. Rade says, try watching Project Almanac 2. It's good. Okay. Rade says, are you on Twitter? I am, at Mara Domina. And on Instagram. Give me a follow on both. Krishma says, when people say Asian people, they always forget India, Sri Lanka, and all. Sometimes Indians don't want to be labeled as Asians, though. I have seen Indians that are just like, I don't want to be associated with the rest of Asia. So I've seen both sides. Magdalena, what are you ethnically, if I may ask? If it's not comfortable for you, please don't hesitate to say you're not comfortable, and I'm totally okay with that. No offense taken, no offense given. Graham, and I'm asking because you brought it up as an exotic, in terms of exoticism, so I'm just curious. Graham says, H.G. Wells, The Time Machine is an all-time classic. To be honest, I think the use of the word exotic depends on the context. It's a question of intention on the part of the speaker. It is, but it's also like, I feel that Caucasians have a lot of like ignorance when it comes to kind of labeling things in a certain way. And it might be normal for them, but for the other person and recipient, because the Caucasian is not exotic, and they say it in a certain way, it's like almost, it's like cultural appropriation, if you will. And how I feel about that term. 2 live streams before this, I've already addressed that. But in the regard of being ethnic of some sort, not to say that white people aren't ethnic, I'm just saying like other ethnicities who are not Caucasian, it's kind of like, just say what it is. Say, she's Chinese, or they're Indian. And then you're just going to be telling facts versus exotic, which is kind of more of like a subjective adjective. I think that's where we're coming from. Mario says her hero name is Midnight. Are you talking about My Hero Academia still? Mark Scott, I like your Halloween outfit. Thank you. Ray Day says, I'm an Indian. I picture Chinese and Japanese/Korean people when the word Asian is said. So when I say Asian, I'm talking about the whole continent of Asia. Not just the fancy Asians, which is what a lot of people deem as Asia, because it is Chinese, Korea, Japan. I have a Korean sub who doesn't think Vietnamese people or Filipino people are Asian, even though they are a part of Asia. He doesn't consider them as real Asians. And I'm just like, what do you think they are? Like, that's super racist, first of all, and kind of insulting. And second of all, like, what else do you think they are if not Asian? Like, what? I don't get it. Graham says, for instance, my Jamaican friend is a quarter Indian. British people with Indian/Pakistani heritage refer to themselves as South Asian. Yes. And like, Indonesians are Southeast Asians, So it makes sense because geographically, that's what it is. Ray Day says, I wouldn't be upset if someone called me Asian though. Okay, yeah, and that's your own personal like opinion and your own personal experiences that led to that determination. Okay, 2 hours has passed. I'm gonna take this mask off because I'm tired of pushing it up. Oh, my goodness. Wow. I want to put it by the... There. So it's part of my decoration. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right. Mario says, yes, I was. I got you. Magdalena says, at Graham, intention is always over impact. Even if you don't mean it to be harmful, it comes across as harmful. I'm a young, queer, Chicane, indigenous ancestry, and colonized Mexico within my circles. Very cool. And I think, with people who also have like, correct me if I'm wrong, Magdalena, but people who are in cultures that are like, have gone through so much oppression and like are dwindling down in numbers, and for them to like preserve their pride of what they are, I can see that affecting you much more to be called like just exotic, instead of like indigenous, with indigenous ancestries, if that makes sense. Like with me, there's a lot of Chinese. There's a lot of Filipinos. Filipinos were conquered by the Spanish. I have mixed feelings about that, but It's an interesting mix for some people, and I'm just like, cool. I don't mind it. But I can totally see it being like insulting to others. So I hear you completely. Ray Day, that bindi on your forehead is looking so divine. It's not a bindi, it's actually a crystal. I make sure not to use actual bindis, which are designed for Indian dance. This is a crystal, and this is put on my third eye. Oh, it sucks that third eye is not here, but hopefully he watches this later. But yes, I put it on my third eye as like, you know, a symbol of divination and for my goddess side. Graham says, all very true. Of course, I do think it's possible for Caucasian people to have exotic notes. For example, my goth pal has some Irish gypsy ancestry. I've known people to hate the term gypsy because they find that the connotation with gypsy is offensive. Like people think that they're thieves and that, you know, they are homeless or that they live like, you know, as nomadic, you know, philanderers or whatever, or like vagabond lifestyle. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, everybody is going to be offended about something no matter what. But context is correct. Like if you're saying it in a sense, like for me, I actually think gypsy, the word, and from what I know it to be, the people of specific kind of like Basque people, I find that super sexy. I find those types of kind of like, it was like the OG mixed groups of different cultures and different geographical places kind of converging and then mixing into one thing, and then they become their own thing. I really love that. So I don't know. And it's kind of like, I feel like that's kind of similar to like Jewish ancestry, because Jews are the only people that have a race and a religion together, you know? Krishma says Asia has way many races. Even in India, people closer to China looks Chinese, and Indians do eat beef. Some places it's illegal, some places it's okay. Also, some places where it was ruled by French and Portuguese, they're half French-ish. Same with Vietnam and like French, they're French Vietnamese also. Yeah. Amit says, salutations at your holy feet, goddess. I have a small temple in my house dedicated to you. I worship you like a Devi. Thank you. Magdalena, we are having these conversations specifically about this word and taking space as POC. There are actually a lot of articles about the word to check out. It's a whole thing. Okay. If you have links to share, feel free to use this space as a way to educate all of us, etc. Graham says, you're perfectly right, Magdalene. It's certainly something to always be conscious of. Everyone deserves respect. Yeah. Magdalena, oh, and also, like, be aware if somebody is not aware of, like, how they are talking to other people, you know, and they apologize for it and say, like, I'm sorry to cause offense, or, like, I didn't know that that was not a term that you find acceptable or appropriate for yourself. Like, be kind to those people, too, because they generally just don't know better. In general, I'm not talking to anybody specific. I'm just saying, like, you know, if you come across anybody and you are ethnic and you are watching this, I always try to give the benefit of the doubt for myself, for other people. Magdalena says, you're right. People not Romani descendant prefer people not of Romani descent to use gypsy in reference to their people or themselves. Yeah, and it's understandable. Hearts to you too, sparkly hearts. Rayday says, Devi is Hindi word for goddess. Yes, I do know that. Amit says, yes, it means goddess. Yeah. And the person who requested my outfit today, wanted me to be a matriarchal being with the goddess internal. So that's what I did. Graham says, I used to work in the tourist industry in England and met people from every country on the planet. It's amazing how diverse we are as a species, but also how similar and we fundamentally are. Yeah, which kind of brings the question of like, well, not question, which brings the absurdity of racism, because racism just stems from a bunch of uncultured like education. Honestly, that's literally what it is. Like, if you've traveled, if you had the opportunity to travel, or if you've been in situations where you were put in groups with other people who are culturally different from you, conversations like this spark, and then you'll learn things from other people that you're not used to, and it's like they're either different ways of solving the same problem, or you'll just find like differences and you find it beautiful, or you're like, I never thought of it that way before. Like, perspective shifts. And I find that like that's why culture and like traveling and food bring cultures together, bring people together, because even if you don't speak like the same language, or even music, how you feel about certain like rhythms or tastes and textures are gonna be universal. And that's what I love about that too. That's why I love traveling. That's why I love food. That's why I have the zest for that kind of thing, you know? Because I appreciate those things. And I find that people who like aren't, or who are against certain races, or just don't have the time or want to give the space to other cultures, they're just being ignorant, and they're just gonna stay narrow their entire lives. So Amit says, would you ever do a video in Hindu goddess attire? I mean, if it was requested, and it depends on the context. Again, like, I don't want to be inappropriate, you know? I can do things that are inspired by, for sure. Like, I just did my studio room. It's my office room transformation. It's called the Sun Room, and you can find it on my YouTube channel. And I made a red outfit that's kind of tribal-y because I do dance. But, you know, I made it myself. I designed it myself, but it's based on like harem pants. I also hate that term because it's like you're including like such a small portion of that culture's like history and labeling it to a fashion like accessory or like a fashion piece of wear. But that's what it's called, so I'm calling it harem pants. And yeah, I made my own out of $5 pants. They're red. Cut them out and made my own top. And that's inspired by, you know, belly dancing designs and stuff that I've seen. So Graham says, totally agree. I loathe racism. It makes no sense scientifically or culturally. But you know, to each their own. You can't stop a person from thinking a certain way, and you know, you can do your best to kind of like disarm that conversation or try to educate them, but if they're not willing to listen, that's like half the battle. So, and that's the first half of the front of the battle. So they have to be willing to take a step back and be like, oh, there's other people out there in the world besides me. Man, I'm making this absinthe last for a really long time. I'm proud of myself. Amit says, you should absolutely do a video in Hindu goddess attire. The whole Indian community would appreciate it. I don't know if the whole community would appreciate it. Like I said, some Indians don't even like to be called Asians. And I don't know how they would feel about another Asian, like, cultural representation trying to appreciate their culture, especially in fetish. So I actually have Hindi garb because I bought it because it's so beautiful, but I also made my own. But I don't know if that's appropriate to do for a clip. I would do it if it's an exclusive for you, but I don't know if I'm comfortable showing that to everybody else. Because at that point, I have your permission to do that, so. Ray Day says, as an Indian, I agree with Amit 100%. In Hinduism, we have Devis with Asian looks. I really like, well, so I don't know if you guys have Mara in Buddhism, because I know, like, obviously Hinduism is different, but like, I guess in Buddhism, Mara is a goddess, and she's also a demon. She's kind of dare I say, she's kind of similar to Kali. But the gods and goddesses of different cultures always, like, fascinate me. So, we shall see. This Buddhism that I'm talking about, though, does this legend in the Buddhism in India have Mara in it? That's a true question because I'm not sure. Krishma says, now there's political issues with India and China, so many people have China racism issues. Yeah, and with the whole COVID thing, a lot of people are anti-China too, so. At that point, I'm just like, I'm also Filipino. I'm not denying my Chinese side, but I'm just saying, but I'm also other things. And also American. Like, I was born in America. Uzi, or Uzi, says, your feet size, mistress. I am in size 8, or a 39 in European. Rayday says, only a handful of people. Most Indians are cool with Chinese people. Yay! But yeah. Refreshing conversation, as usual. I kind of want to get back onto the topic a little bit about Halloween. Uzi says, love to worship your feet when COVID is gone down in the UK. I'm supposed to, I was actually supposed to be in the UK right now. I would have gone there 2 weeks ago. But, c'est la vie, mon ami. But yeah. I kind of also want to, how do you call it? Edit the rest of my Halloween decor video. So, if we start slowing down, I may do that. Graham says, a colleague of mine comes from a Hindu background, which is a fascinating tradition. She's not very religious, though, and has become a quantum physicist. Ooh, I really liked quantum physics when I was in high school. Don't remember much of it, but I do remember, like, being like, yeah, that's really cool stuff. Or, like, because I'm a very spiritual person. I'm not religious either, non-practicing religious. I was baptized Roman Catholic, but I found similarities of, like, my thoughts and, like, the theories of quantum physics kind of aligning, so that's really cool. Krishma says, there's some conflict with India and China. Soldiers died. Most Chinese apps got banned. Many people are giving bad reviews on Amazon, saying patriotism and all, so not small, actually. I'm ignorant of this news. I don't really follow the news, quite honestly. Like, I'll see stuff that Twitter posts when I'm on there, but I'm only on there to post certain things. But yeah, it's rough out there, I guess. Graham says, I love the perspective of the Hindu cosmologist who responded to a question about the multiverse theory by saying, more elephants. I love that too, Graham. That's really great. I love that. Elephants never forget. They're also they're a sign of fortune, I believe, as well. And also they're like super gentle giants. Like unless you're doing something to like harm their young, they're super like awesome. Elephants are nice. I actually have a small elephant that looks like it's made out of like Indian pattern textiles on my nightstand. You can check it out on my bedroom makeover, my video tour on YouTube. I have my nightstand that I pan by in video. But yeah. Any last questions or comments, or you can also tip me for me to stay on longer. Krishma, there are 1.3 billion people, and tell me how many reviews are there on Amazon? 10,000 to 1. Maybe. I don't know about you, but to me, 100,000 is a handful compared to a billion. Tommy says, oh my God, I've been pronouncing your name as Tony. My eyes are bad. I apologize. Tommy says, if we want to have a session with you, how do we do it? You go onto dominamara.com and you fill in the reservation form, the RSVP form, and we go from there. I see everybody not everybody. I see select, wow, maybe the absinthe is taken over now. I see select subs here in Los Angeles in person, and then I have online remote sessions as well. Magdalena, the lower results on the Google searches of exoticism and the word exotic has a couple of articles, but the internet has many. Happy searching. Righto. Oh, I just eat a piece of cobweb. Yeah, don't do that. Tommy is asking, how old are you? I am young at heart. I do not disclose that. It's rude to ask a woman that. Graham says in Anglo-Saxon / Viking terms, the Mara was a shape-changing supernatural being who took the forms of female horse or woman smothering sleepers, the original nightmare. Cool. I like this. I'm going to actually do a video on my name, but yeah. Very haunting, if you will, which is what drew me to the name in the first place. Krishna says, enough to change profit from MI to Samsung, and enough to stop a huge market from public revenue and TikTok and many more. So yeah, significant. Plus many racial issues against Northeastern. Graham says, thanks, Magdalena. I shall have a look at the Google searches. Right on. Any Halloween fantasies or things you want to dress as and go into a scene that you've had previously. This is an open forum as long as it's PG. Ray Day, if you consider 100,000 in 1.4 billion significant, then that is your prerogative. Liam, I woke up again just to see you without a mask. Now going back to bed again. Good evening. Good night. Liam. Ray Day, there are many northeastern people in my city, not one issue here. All right, this is a conversation between you guys because I've given up on this one. Graham says, I've told some stories about the Mara on another YouTube channel. Huh, what YouTube channel? Krishma says, it's sad to see the army fighting, but they should remember Chinese traders and professional are just regular people. Sorry. Magdalena, we have been blessed by your time and attention. Oh, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. It really means a lot. And I really do appreciate your question and for opening up that conversation because I think it's important for us to talk about it in a healthy way and to, you know, bring it up if there's any sense of discomfort. I think every voice should be heard about it, especially, you know, people who don't usually get to talk about this like this. So my space is open for that type of thing. As long as it stays respectful. Otherwise, I'm shutting it down. But it's been very good, so. Brede says, yes, indeed, goddess. It's been a blessing to see you live. Aw, thank you. It's my pleasure. I would be on longer, but I do really want to edit my other video. And I have finished my absinthe, so. If I'm taking any last questions or last conversation topics, and then that'll be that. Lindy says, hello, what do you like in a man in chastity? His obedience, of course, and his lack of climaxing makes him smarter or dumber and needs to be punished more. Magdalena says, a mythology. Oh, wait. Oh, I remember the TV show Hilda. There's a spirit called Mara who in the show is a teenage girl who can control people's nightmares. I forget what it's based off of. It's based on a mythology. Yeah, Graham actually said something about this. Northworthy sagas and stories. They're on the stories of Tyrkir Thorkelson playlist, The Nightmare Tales. Huh. Cool. I like it. But instead of being people's nightmares, I would love to be kind of like a dream come true, if you will. Even if it's a little bit haunting. Amit says, absolutely, goddess. It was a blessing. I agree with Ray Day. Most Indian people don't have any ill will towards Chinese people. Goddess, what is the hardest punishment you have ever give to someone? Hardest punishment? I mean, honestly, ignoring them for a really long time is a lot of torture for some people. But I also do really heavy impact. So if you go on to iwantmara.com, you can see that I did judicial caning with somebody and I didn't hold back. Gave him 200 very, very hard caning strokes. And I really like whipping. So, but anything in the CBT realm, honestly, is probably like the most intensive, I would say. Krishna says, have you ever taken control of a sub's social media? I've had people who wanted like blackmail to happen in that sense, but the account password and stuff didn't work, so it ended up blocking the account. So to no avail, but I tried. Carl says, "Hi, Mistress Mara. Do you do TeamViewer remote sessions?" No, I use other things. If you are interested in remote, you should fill out my reservation form if you haven't already. Graham says, "Indeed, that's the YouTube channel. You are a heavenly dream, of course, ma'am." Why, thank you. Amit says, "How does it feel when you have a man beneath your feet completely at your mercy?" I love it. I 100% love it. That's where men belong. Beneath my feet. Which have won an award, so tip me and I will show them to you barefooted, because I have already taken off my shoes. Krishma says, "Do you enjoy domination in general?" What do you think? Of course I do. That isn't a real question. Alrighty. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today, but I think this is all I'm going to be doing for my live stream. I know I had a few kinks in the beginning, pun intended, for technology, but Tommy says, "Do you really think that women are superior to men?" I do. 100%. If men gave birth, that would change some things in my mind, but I 100% do. Magdalena says, "Yes, 100% in all caps." See? We agree. Yeah. And earlier, if you watch my video, again, Mistress Ezada comes in as well, and we talk about matriarchy and how family is ideal with women ruling it. And that's how ancient tribes used to do it too. Used to be matriarchal and not this patriarchal BS that governments have imposed on us. So, yeah. Alrighty, my lovely kinksters. I'm going to be ending this stream. Krishma says, "Maybe women should control the finances in houses." My family does. It's all the women who are doing the finances and making the big decisions on purchases. Graham says, "Thank you for a stimulating chat once again, Mistress. Take care and stay safe, everyone." Agreed. Krishma has lots of heart faces. And yes, happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. If you missed part of my stream, come back and rewatch it. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you again next week.